One of the top 3 questions that someone who's been dumped and wants their ex back always asks is whether they will hear from their ex. And most people think very negatively after a breakup and assume that they will never hear from their ex. But they would be wrong. And I'm going to tell you why the chances are very good that you will hear from your ex. But first, welcome back, my beautiful no contact army. This is Lucia with the Art of Love. Have you been a good little soldier? Well, if you have, then you've been using my app Silencio to help you to stay in no contact. And the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast. And if you too would like to join our no contact army, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and you're in. And to read our manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. And the link to that is also underneath every video and podcast. Okay, so if you haven't heard from your ex yet, you probably think you never will. And I always tell my clients that they need to have faith when they're going through no contact. And then I realized, you know what? They actually already do have faith. The problem is that they have faith in a negative outcome rather than a positive outcome. So why not turn that around? You're going to be thinking anyway, or should I say obsessing anyway. Yes, I know you. So why not obsess on a positive outcome rather than a negative one? Positive thoughts feel a lot better anyway. So what you have to do is pivot, as Abraham Hicks calls it. So when you start to spiral and think, oh my God, I'm never going to hear from him again. I'm never going to hear from her again. Stop right there. Pivot, turn that around, and say, yes, I am going to hear from him. Yes, I am going to hear from her. And you know what? You would probably be right, because 90% of people who have been broken up with or had to break up with someone because the other person cheated or took them for granted will hear from their ex. I cannot think of anyone who I have coached who has not heard from their ex at some point. And in fact, I have an email today. What are the chances? From one of my clients who went through a horrible breakup, and the ex still popped up, as I knew she would. So let me read it to you. So he says, I wanted to give you an update on my situation, which frankly I have totally moved on from. And he says, I was engaged to someone who had a fairly high level of narcissistic personality disorder and had been divorced 4 times prior to me. And I'm sure I told them during the call that, hello, red flag, married 4 times. Come on. Like, that's, never mind a red flag, that's a black flag. Like, stay away. Just stay away. There's just no way. Come on. And in fact, he said, my ex simply moved out and was never to be heard from again. Yeah, he was out of town. They were living together. She moved all her stuff out. He came back and she was gone. Like, and he goes to say, no breakup, no closure, just poof, vanished. Yeah, basically ghosted. Imagine you're engaged to someone, you're living with them, and they ghost you. They just disappear. And then a few weeks later, she contacted him about some furniture she had there. And she said she was going to pick them up, and then she never did. And then fast forward 7.5 months to last night. So for those of you who go, oh my God, it's been 2 weeks, I haven't heard from my ex, it's been 2 months. Okay. 7.5 months for this guy after she called about her furniture. So he says, I was sitting on the couch, resting before going to the gym. I just was watching TV. The doorbell rang. Thinking it was simply the delivery of a package, I continued to watch the show. 2 minutes later, the doorbell rang again. So I look out the peephole. I couldn't see anyone. Opened the door wearing some nice dress shorts, no shirts, no shirt. I've lost weight. I've been working out, so I look good. And I was out back working on my tan earlier in the evening. Nice. Perfect. Couldn't have staged this better myself. To my surprise, there was no package. It was my ex standing there. My jaw must have hit the floor. I've totally moved on and am randomly dating and searching for my person with no thoughts of my ex whatsoever. I'm healed and I simply don't need her narcissistic shenanigans. I stood there and she said, I accidentally had some groceries delivered here. And I replied, well, no groceries have been delivered here. She attempted a sweet smile and said, oh, I already put them in the car. Really? Really? This is me saying really. Uh, Knowing me, I would have said, oh, yeah? Let me see. Yeah, sure. You had groceries delivered here by mistake after 7.5 months. Okay. Your nose is growing a bit larger. So I don't say anything, he continues, and I'm waiting for her to say something significant. I mean, it took a lot of courage for a narcissist with an avoidant attachment style to show up at my door after the disappearing act she pulled. She was smiling and not saying anything, so I offered her the furniture that she had contacted him about earlier. And she said, oh, you still have them? Oh, I'll text you in a few days and arrange for a pickup. I nodded and shut the door. She pretty much ran to her car, got in, and sped away. Crazy part to me is that after having the courage to show up the way she did, she had nothing significant to say. Yeah, because she thought you were going to be there welcoming her with open arms, like, oh my God, what a surprise. How are you? Come in, let's have a drink. Tell me what's new. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. No, I effed up. Hey, can I take you for coffee or lunch? I'd really like the opportunity to talk. Nope, nothing. To be honest, I feel like I won, and this proved it. Thank you for your help, and as usual, you were correct about everything that would happen in my situation. Because of your coaching, I was so well prepared for this day, and I handled it well. I was unemotional. I was polite. Gave her a moment to say something. Offered her the opportunity to pick up her appliances, and closed the door. Yes, literally and figuratively. And by the way, if you're finding this helpful, if you could please give this video a like in order to help the YouTube algorithm to suggest it to more people so we can help more people to find out that, yes, they probably will hear from their ex. Okay, so even though he didn't want his ex back, I hope that this will at least give you some peace and some hope if you're still of the mindset that you're not going to hear from your ex. As I said, 90% of you will hear from your ex, but that's only the beginning. That's only the first step, because obviously you can't get back together if you don't hear from them. But after that, they need to continue to reach out and want to get back together. But I know you'll feel at least a little bit better if you hear from your ex at least once, and you probably will. But if for some reason you're in that 10% of people who do not hear from their ex ever, just know that they were 100% done. They were done. They felt that there was someone better out there for them. And you know what? If there's someone better out there for them, that means that there's someone better out there for you too. So when you're ready, pick yourself up, move forward with your life, and be open to meeting the one who is better for you. Okay? So now I want to hear from you. Have you heard from your ex after the breakup? Yes or no? Let us know below. And in the meantime, if you would like my help to get your ex back, or maybe even to move on like this guy, you can contact me at theartoflove.net and we will send you the rates. And the direct link to that is underneath every video and podcast. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast, please rate and review. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.